Hi, welcome to One Man is Meeple. I'm Andy Savage. Today I'm playing Undaunted North Africa by David Thompson, Trevor Benjamin. The Undaunted series continues with this two-player deck-building game set in World War II. This campaign pits Britain's long-range desert group, the LRDG, against Italian forces in North Africa. This follow-up to Undaunted Normandy expands upon the familiar mechanics of the first, with added vehicles such as tanks and trucks, and new units and objectives. I'm going to be playing this two-player game solo, using the same method I did with Undaunted Normandy. Each round I'll be rolling a dice to decide initiative, and then the highest will have to discard one of the two highest cards in their hand to go first. The second side to go will have to discard one of the two lowest cards. I'm going to play Scenario 3 and the Anvil, in which the LRDG have to gain control of an Italian stronghold. So let's play. Okay, so we're going to be playing Scenario 3 and the Anvil. This is set in Merzouk Fort in southwest Libya, 11th of January 1941. The goal of the LRDG's attack on the fort at Merzouk was to prevent the Italian garrison from reinforcing the airfield. Although the LRDG sustained casualties, its harassment attacks were successful. After a sustained fight, the Italian garrison eventually surrendered. Any Italians who hadn't been killed were set free by the LRDG because the group did not have enough rations or transport available to take prisoners. So in this scenario, the Italians are all holed up in these fortresses up here in the northwest, and the LRDG is starting down here in the east. They're all in their trucks. So we have the staff sergeant, the scout and the sniper in the pilot truck, and the sergeant and the gunner in the patrol truck. I haven't put out the scouting markers that quick. So they have scouted that small area there, and the Italians have scouted there. No one has any control. The LRDG's objective is to gain control of one of these two forts. They're the only objectives on the board. And the Italians' objectives are to neutralize the staff sergeants and the sergeants. Now, both decks start off ultra slim. The Italians only have 6 cards, which is one of each of these: the scout, the anti-tank, the gunner, and the fog of war, plus their commanders, platoon sergeant and the squad leader. And the LRDG start out with slightly more. They start out with 8 cards. They have one of each of these, and again they have their commanders, the warrant officer and the lieutenant. So 8 cards for the LRDG, 6 cards for the Italians. There's 3 more of each of those to bolster on each side. And as the LRDG, you have to bolster fast, because if the Italians manage to couple of hits on each truck, they can neutralize really fast. They can neutralize these sergeants and the staff sergeant really quickly. The anti-tank rifleman in this game is deadly. He gets 2 shots on the anti-tank, and to get these trucks through here, it's a bit of a bottleneck. They can't come up here. So there's not a lot of cover around here. I found it in practice. I found it quite hard to win as the LRDG. So let's see how it goes tonight. The way I'll be playing this, as I explained, I'll be rolling for initiative. The initiative starts with the LRDG in this game, but we roll for initiative, and the highest side gains initiative and then has to play one of the 2 highest cards in their hand for initiative, and then the losing side, or the side that loses the roll and gets the lowest initiative, has to play one of its lowest 2 value cards, where it can be a fog of war or a sniper or whatever, which kind of simulates the flow of the 2-player game. So let's get going. We'll draw up 4 cards from each. 2, 3, 4 for the Italians. 2, 3, 4 for the LRDG. No, sideways, so I don't, because these decks are so slim, you pick up the wrong pile. So we're going to roll for initiative. We're going to roll over here. That's 10 for the Italians and 6 for the LRDG. So the Italians going to gain initiative. Let's have a look at their hand quick. Got 1 fog of war, anti-tank, platoon, machine gunner. So they're going to have to discard one of these 2 cards, and I think what we're going to do is discard the machine gunner and use the platoon sergeant to bolster. So I think let's bolster or command. Let's bolster in. I'll play it there. Play it there. We're going to bolster in 3 anti-tank riflemen because they're just rock solid in this game, in this scenario. And then we'll have the anti-tank rifleman that we have in our hand. We're going to have him take a shot. Now he's so far away with a anti-tank, so it's the value in the shield. So on either truck, they're both the same. 4 for the armor, plus the terrain is 5, and then the distance 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he's rolling on a 9 to hit with 2 dice, and he's aiming at the pilot truck. The pilot truck has a high navigate, so it can scout out further areas. So he wants to try and disable that one first. So let's roll this. There's your 9. So he's hit the pilot truck. So we'll put a damage on that, and he chooses to hit the staff sergeant. So the LRDG don't have a staff sergeant in hand, so they'll remove the one from their deck. He's out of the game. We'll put them face down over there. I don't think I'm going to look at what's been removed from the game on either side as I play through this. And here, the Italians' last card was the Fog of War, so that one now goes into the discard pile. And the LRDG, look at their hand, and obviously they're going to discard their Fog of War. The wrong set of cards, isn't it? Said that would happen, and I still did it. So we're definitely going to need. They're the 2 lowest cards for the LRDG, which is the sniper and the machine gunner. The sniper's marginally more use at this point, although the machine gunner could repair the pilot truck if he gets out of the patrol truck. But I don't think. What I'm going to do is have the sniper take a shot at that anti-tank gunner. The anti-tank. So we're going to lose the. We're going to discard the machine gunner this round for initiative. So we have both the lieutenant and the warrant officer, and I suggest we bolster in as much of the sergeants as we can. You can see we've already lost a staff sergeant on the first shot of the game. So I'm going to bring in 3 staff sergeants with the lieutenant. So lieutenant there has a bolster 3. So we're going to bolster in 3 staff sergeants, and with the warrant officer I'm going to bolster in 2 of the sergeants. Especially as they're driving these trucks as well at the moment. It's important to have them in both so we can keep the game going, and also so that they can drive the trucks. Finally, we're going to have the sniper, who has 3 dice to attack. He's going to fire at the anti-tank. The anti-tank rifleman. And he's on a 4. 4 for his defense there. Plus 2 for the tile he's on makes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the sniper is rolling on 3 dice on a 10 to hit. And he's missed. There's a 4, 7 and an 8. So the sniper has missed. So that's the LRDG's first turn. At least they managed to get some of these reinforcements into the deck. So the Italians are shuffling already. As they only had 6 cards to start with. They've bolstered in a couple of riflemen. And the LRDG need to shuffle so they can draw one more. Okay, so the Italians have the initiative. We'll roll for Italians is 10 and the LRDG, that is a 3. So the Italians retain initiative and have to discard their one of their highest 2 cards, which is the scout and a squad leader this time. Arguably the scout is less useful, but what he can do is start to use the conceal action to start putting some fog of war into the LRDG deck. And the other 2 cards that we drew there are both riflemen. So we don't really need the inspire. So I'm going to discard the squad leader there for the Italians. We're going to use the scout to conceal, so we will put a fog of war into the LRDG discard pile. Let's rearrange this a little bit. Put the deck there, discard pile there. There we go, that's better. And then we'll have the anti-tank rifleman. We'll have him fire again, anti-tank fire on the pilot truck again. I think we'll keep momentum going down there. So as I recall, he was on a 9 to hit and they're both a miss. And then we'll have another go with the other anti-tank. And that's a 10, so that's another hit. And he's going to take out the staff sergeant again. So first of all, we go to the LRDG's hand. They don't have a staff sergeant in there. There isn't one in the discard, so we shall remove one from the deck. So that's half the staff sergeant's already out of the game. Both the sergeant and the staff sergeant have the control action, so either one of them can finish the game up here and take control. So that's the Italian go finished. Let's see what the LRDG have got. They have a fog of war, which they will probably discard. 2 sergeants and a scout. They're both in different cars. The scouts have a navigate. The scouts are in the navigation seat. They're in the passenger seat, so they can navigate there. Have a look at these vehicles now. These are new in North Africa. Any unit in an appropriate seat can either do their own support actions or they can do the truck or tank support actions. So the scout here can navigate 3, and navigate is like the scout action except you don't move to do it. And in fact that's what I'm going to do now, so you'll see how that works. So the scout's going to navigate 3. So starting with the tile you're on, you can explore out from there. This one's already scouted, so I'm going to put 1 down there for 2 and 1 down there for 3. That means I have to add 2 more fog of war into their discard pile because it's just like scouting. So that was the scout. The sergeant here in the patrol truck, he can drive that. Whoever's in the driver's seat has a drive action there. And indeed that's what he's going to do. So he's going to drive the patrol truck 2 spaces. 1, 1, 2. Now everyone in the truck with him has come along. And then we have a second sergeant action. Then we could drive that into this square here, but that's just a little bit too close to that anti-tank rifleman for comfort. Down here at least he's 1 step further away. Cover's the same. You've got a 1 cover in both. what I think we'll do is wait there for the pilot truck to catch up. There's not really much for him to do there. He couldn't attack, actually. He can attack. So let's have an attack on the anti-tank rifleman. So 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So again, he's 1 dice for a 10 to hit. So the chances are slim, but you never know. There's a 6, so he misses. Once again, that's both finished. Let's draw up the next hands, the Italians and the LRDG. And the Italians roll first and have a 1. The LRDG roll a 4. So the LRDG gain initiative. Good. So we've got Staff Sergeant here, so we can drive the pilot truck. It'd be nice if we had a scout as well. So let's assume we're going to use the lieutenant to draw some more. The scout in this disc? No, the scout's not in this discard pile, is it? Oh, he is in there. What I was thinking is we can use the Staff Sergeant to drive the pilot truck down to here and then use the scout with the navigate action to navigate 1, 2, 3 positions right up next to that fort. It's not quite going to work out. So let's get rid of 1 Staff Sergeant for initiative and let's bolster with the lieutenant. So we're going to bolster in the last sergeant and I think 1 scout and 1 sniper. Then we shall have the machine gunner take a shot. I think I want the machine gunner to suppress that anti-tank rifleman. So 4 dice on a 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, sorry. Machine gunner indeed is in the patrol truck here. So yeah, so 4 dice, we need a 10 to suppress that anti-tank unit. And we don't have the 10, so the anti-tank rifleman is not suppressed. Staff Sergeant then is going to drive the pilot truck down here just to sit next to the patrol truck. And then when we draw a scout, we're in the perfect position to navigate right up to the doors of this fort here. Okay, Italians go. They can discard the fog of war. So we have the rifleman again. He's obviously useful. He's got the choice of both trucks to hit. Now, 1 more hit on the pilot truck is going to completely disable it unless that gunner gets out and repairs it. The platoon sergeant, we can bolster. I don't really want to water down this deck anymore at the moment with a bolster. The anti-tank rifleman is doing fine on his own, and the machine gunner popping up now and then just to lay down some suppressing fire is going to be fine. The scout isn't much use. I'll probably move him into this fort in a bit, just so that the LRDG can't just walk in there and control it. At least the scout is in there holding the position. So let's have the let's start with the machine gunner laying down some suppressing fire on the pilot truck. Maybe we can suppress that staff sergeant and stop him driving up, or we can suppress the scout and stop him navigating. So 4 dice. Because it's suppression and not anti-tank, we're going to go with the 7 value here. It's not demolition, it's not anti-tank, so we go with the normal armor. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which you're never going to roll a 12 on a D10, but any 10s on these are an automatic hit, no matter what the RM, the dice roll modifier of any armor or distance or cover is. So 4 dice, we're looking for a 10. And there we've got 3, 7, 5, and we got the 10. So we have successfully suppressed the pilot truck. Now, knowing that what I want to do, that I want the scout to navigate. So I'm going to suppress the scout. Now this is where the solo thing of playing both sides falls down a bit, but because I might suppress the staff sergeant so he can't drive. But looking down here, there's only 1 or 2 squares he can actually drive into. So maybe it's obvious that the scout is going to navigate next. The platoon sergeant, let's command this time. So we'll draw 2 more cards, see what we draw. Here's the first one, it's another rifleman. Hardly surprising really. The deck is now packed with them. And 1 more, it's a squad leader. So we've got an inspiration there. So basically we got 3 shots with the anti-tank. So let's go. 2 dice to fire on the pilot truck again. We're on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we need a 9 or a 10 to hit, and there's a 9. I told you this guy was deadly. So the pilot truck is now disabled. It's been shot to pieces. And we can choose to remove another staff sergeant from the game. Actually, yes, straight from the discard pile because they don't have a hand. We'll use that anti-tank rifleman again. That's a miss. And then we shall inspire the anti-tank rifleman. Try again. And that is a 9. It's missing the line underneath, but it is a 9, so that's another hit. He was, because I didn't change, I didn't say otherwise, we'll say he's firing on the pilot truck. If there's 5 hits on it, then it's completely destroyed. So he's targeting the staff sergeant again. When you score a hit on a truck, you can cause an injury to one of the people inside the truck. He's picking on that staff sergeant. Now I believe, as the LRDG, I believe that is the last staff sergeant. The Italians might not know that unless they've got a good memory or kept count. So that's the Italians go over. And in fact, that's the entire round over. So let's draw up another 4 cards each. 1, 2, 3, and a shuffle for the LRDG. So the LRDG now need to get that staff sergeant out of the driver's seat. Or get everyone out of the truck before it's destroyed. Right, so initiative. Italians roll first. There's a 7, LRDG, there's a 1. So the Italians take back initiative. And here's their hand. They've got 2 anti-tank with a 2, a fog of war, and a scout with a 6. So we can lose one of the anti-tanks or the scout. I think we're going to lose the scout. The anti-tank, I mean, it's maybe a bit boring, but it's working. Anti-tank fire on the... Well, let's say the Italians suspect they've got 4 staff sergeants. Let's take another shot on the pilot truck and then we can neutralize him. There's that. That's that dodgy 9 again, so that's a hit. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, that's a hit. So the pilot truck is, I believe, removed from the game, and the staff sergeant will look, but fairly sure that all the staff sergeants are out of the game and effectively neutralized. Shuffle these. So the Italians have neutralized the staff sergeant. We'll put him there to show that. Oh, move those dice, sorry. So the anti-tank rifleman, I guess these guys are now out in the open. The anti-tank rifleman can now turn his attention to the patrol truck and carry on firing. Still only counts as one hit, but it's a hit. Who are we going to take out? Obviously the sergeant. The last Italian card is a fog of war, so the Italians' turn is over. The LRDG are down to 3 cards and still have to discard their lowest, or one of their lowest, so let's discard the fog of war. We've got a sniper and a warrant officer. Let's have the sniper take a shot at that anti-tank, who's on a 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 3 dice to get to 0. Nope, the sniper misses. Let's inspire him with the warrant officer to try again. He misses again. Not the best go for the LRDG there. Okay, I'm rolling for initiative. Italians first with a 6 and the LRDG with a 2. So the Italians retain initiative. The 2 highest cards, we have the squad leader and the platoon sergeant. I think we're going to lose the platoon sergeant, so then we can inspire with the squad leader. We have that anti-tank rifleman again. And the machine gun. Okay, so let's lead with the anti-tank rifleman, and he's going to fire on the patrol truck again, and that's 2 misses, but the squad leader attempts to inspire him to try again, and that's another 2 miss. So he's lost his eye a bit. Machine gun is coming in, and he's going to lay down some suppressing fire on the patrol truck, I think. He's got a 10, so it's a hit. So he has suppressed the sergeant within the patrol truck. Flipped that over there in case you missed it. So the suppressed side looks like that, has hash markings on it, so you can tell. The LRDG, what do we have? We have the sniper or the machine gunner to discard, and I think we're going to discard the machine gunner. We have the sergeant can become unsuppressed by spending his action. We have the scout, he's also suppressed, so let's spend that to unsuppress the scout. And the sniper going to take a shot on that anti-tank. Needs a 10, I think. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. Failed again. See, this is what's happened every time I've played this, and even when I've tried different stuff, is everyone gets bogged down in this bottleneck here. Just a killing field down there. Let's roll for initiative. Italians get a 6 and the LRDG switch it up with a 9. Yeah, I've tried getting the staff sergeant and the sergeant in the same car and holding back until it's fully scouted. But because the drive is only 1, 2 or 1, 2, 3, it's really easy to get bogged down here, and then the anti-tank guy starts hitting you. I've sent a sniper up here to try and take the anti-tank out. I think that was probably one of the most successful goes. I probably should have tried that. Anyway, LRDG are first. We have 2 fog of war, sergeant and the lieutenant in here. What we really need is the scout to start scouting out these positions so we can get up there. Because at the moment, we can't even get to that fort. So I think regretfully, I'm going to put the sergeant in the discard pile for the initiative. And then I think I'm going to use the lieutenant to command 2 more cards. It's a fog of war and a scout. At least we got 1. Right, so the scout then. He's going to scout 1, 2 positions. And we have to add a fog of war. More fog of war. So that's the LRDG finished for the go. And here we have 3 anti-tank guys. Although his work is nearly done, he's destroyed the pilot truck and he's on his way to blowing up the patrol truck. So, first one, firing on the patrol truck. That's a miss. Second one, miss. And the third one, that's a miss. Lucky for the LRDG, maybe they're going to stand a chance after all, although I don't fancy it. Right. See, the Italians' deck is still so slim. So they've still only got 9 cards in the Italian deck. And the LRDG is looking really quite bulky in comparison. I mean, obviously they've had 1, 2, 3 fog of wars added by scouting and navigation. They've had 1 added with concealment, so that's 4 fog of wars, but you just have to load it out with all the sergeants. Okay, so Italians rolling a 9, LRDG rolling a 7. So Italians take back initiative. Tempted to keep the scout this time and move him into that fort as they're starting to scout up and scout up these positions. So I'm going to lose the platoon sergeant to the initiative discard, and then we're going to play the scout to move him into there. Well, rather it's a scout action. We could have used him to recon the fog of war out, but I've done it now anyway. And the anti-tank rifleman, again, firing on that patrol truck. That's a 5 and an 8, which is a miss. The last card's a fog of war. Let's see what the LRDG can affect now. Right, so we have the scout, so we can scout up to that final position. So he's going to do that bravely. 1, 2, and that's 2 more fog of war into the deck. We have the sniper and the sergeant left. So the sergeant could drive the patrol truck as far as here. If he gets out and walks, his move is only 1, so he's really slow on foot. The pilot truck is faster, but is now completely destroyed. Okay, so the sniper. We'll play the sniper first. He uses, before you use an action, any one of these units can get in or out of a vehicle or move into an empty seat in a vehicle. If they want to swap seats with another unit, then they have to actually use their action to do so. But he can get in the car and then he can use his action. So let's go for 3 dice, not on the anti-tank this time. I'm going to fire on that scout there. He's on 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So he's looking for a 0 to hit him, but he's got 3 dice here. Obviously not a hit. And lastly, we have the sergeant, who's going to drive the patrol truck with everyone that remains 2 spaces to there. Now he's moving closer into the anti-tank range. The anti-tank is now hitting on a 5, 6, 7, 8 or better. But there's no option. You can't sit down here and wait. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Italians. I'm kind of rooting for the LRDG. They feel like the underdogs in this, and maybe I've tactically played it wrong. Initiative, Italians 1, LRDG 3. So the LRDG are indeed going first. Don't have a great deal to choose from here though. We have the warrant officer who can bolster and inspire. And even if they do bolster, it's going to be a long time till we shuffle those into the deck. So let's get the sergeant into that fort at least. We can't, can we? Because we need to discard one or the other. Let's discard the warrant officer for the initiative, and the sergeant spends his action driving the truck to there. Now I'm just trying to think if he's better to get out of it. He's more susceptible to anti-tank fire with a 5, 4, 5, 6, 7 if he stays in. If he gets out, his defense is 5, which makes him 6, 7. So he's slightly harder to hit if he gets out of the patrol truck, I guess. So let's have him get out, because at the end of his action he can get out. Been really nice if we could have kept the warrant officer as well, and then he could have inspired him to move into the fort. But let's see what the Italians have up their sleeve. They've got 2 anti-tank riflemen. The machine gunners a worry now that the sergeant is out of the car. I think this time we're going to lose the anti-tank rifleman. His usefulness is perhaps coming to an end now the patrol truck has moved up as far as it can go. Incidentally, these tiles here, they have this little symbol in the bottom left, which means obviously you can't drive in them. That is this one, this one, this one, and the 2 forts. You cannot drive into them. So let's have the machine gunner. He's just going to attack. He's not going to suppress the sergeant. So that's a 5, 6, 7, 8 shot. 8 or better with 2 dice. And there is an 8. So he's hit the sergeant. We'll take a sergeant out of the discard pile. The squad leader then inspires that machine gunner to try again, and he's going to have another shot. That's a 9. So we lose another sergeant. Now, there are no more in the discard pile, and I'm not going to look through what's been removed from the game. And I can't remember whether we have now lost all our sergeants or not. But the anti-tank rifleman is also going to have a shot. Not with the anti-tank gun, just with his normal rifle. So 1 dice to hit on 8 or better. And that's a 9. This guy's deadly. So the last sergeant, maybe. Okay, so we know there are no more sergeants left in the deck. There are no more staff sergeants left in the deck. So at this point, the LRDG cannot control the fort no matter what happens. So effectively, that is the end of the LRDG's game. Because only the sergeants and the staff sergeants can control these forts. But the Italians don't know that. They haven't actually neutralized both. There are some rules for what happens if neither can achieve their objective. And I suppose if you were the LRDG, could carry on plugging away trying to take out these Italians until they didn't have anyone left to attack with. But the fact is well actually, apart from the anti-tank, they've got 4 anti-tank. riflemen in. They only have one scout and one machine gunner, so unless they start bolstering, it could be quite easy to neutralise the scout and the gunner. Let's have one more round, see how it goes. Although we know as the LRDG, the fight's gone. 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so Italians roll a 2 and the LRDG roll a 6. So the LRDG retaining initiative. So many fog of war now, though, it becomes basically one action per round. We have the scout and we have the machine gunner. So let's lose the scout, I think, and have the machine gunner fire on the... Who do we want to start taking out first? I mean, the anti-tank guy is a pain. But this scout is closer, and we know there's only one in the deck. So 7, 8 or more to hit. And we're not going for a suppress, we're going for an actual kill. And that's 2 misses. And the other 2 cards were Fog of War. So that's it for the LRDG. The Italians have an embarrassment of riches as to what they can use here. I think we're going to lose, discard a rifleman for initiative. And we'll have the machine gunner fire on that sergeant again, I think. See if he can force that neutralise. So 2 dice to hit on a 6, 7, 8. And there he's got his 8. So the game is up. The LRDG will have to admit that they have no sergeants left in their deck and that the sergeant has been neutralised. And that is a victory for the Italians. The Italians have won by meeting their objectives, which was to neutralise both the sergeants and the staff sergeants. And they did it pretty efficiently. That anti-tank guy is a nightmare and has been throughout. I think an alternative thing to do might have had the sniper who can sneak with that, because the sniper has a... Let's see if I can find one. Here we go. Sniper has a stalk action, which means they can move into unscouted terrain. So he can move up to there, and then he could move up to there and start taking pot shots at the anti-tank guy, maybe. But I don't think I drew many snipers at the start of the game, on account of there only being one in the deck, and then you have to bolster up the sergeants, so it waters it down even more and forces you into the movement of the trucks, really. Maybe I need to balance that initial loading up of sergeants and staff sergeants with just 2 or 3, but then when the anti-tank guy gets going, it's really worrying. I didn't bring the cars up this way because this is a 0 cover square, which means you're in a 4, 5, 6, 7 or more to hit. At least down here you're in a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to hit. And because this square isn't scouted at the start, the temptation is to go that way, but I found that's really bad news. Even here it's too easy to hit them. The scout car that starts here was, I've tried getting in it. I've sent the Italians down to get in it, but I don't really know why it's there. Unless it's something for everyone to get into when your pilot truck gets destroyed. The scout car is effectively the same as the patrol truck. It has press 3, navigate 2 and drive 2. It looks cool, but it's not quite as good as the pilot truck in that scouting position. So there, I mean, if you've got a different way to approach this, put it down in the comments. Let me know, and I'll try it again. It's this one's perplexed me as the LRDG. I think I've got 1 win out of 4 or 5, and that was just last night as I was warming up for this. So let me know if you've got any tips for this scenario. I may well do some more scenarios because they're nice and short, doing more videos. Now there's a solo mod on Board Game Geek by another user. Got on name Booth or Bloof or something, I think, and I will prepare that and do another scenario using the AI. It's a deck of cards with initiative on one side, so you use the initiative and then the action out the other one. And Nico tells me that it works quite well on a basic combat scenario like this, so we'll give that a go, see how that works. Maybe next week. Anyway, hopefully this gives you an idea of how I play this solo, and I've played quite a lot of Normandy solo like this, and I've played 3 scenarios of North Africa solo like this, and I enjoy it. You know, it's maybe feels a little contrived, pretending you don't know what the other one's going to do, but there's no fog of war on the board, so you don't have a concealed counter moving up here, and you don't know whether it's a scout or a sniper. It's all out in the open anyway, so it doesn't really leave you guessing any less or any more than playing 2-player, apart from the initiative round, which is a bit lacking. It would be nice, I guess, to have some cards for initiative maybe. So we'll see how Nico's bot goes. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Short and sweet, this one. We'll do some more though, so keep an eye open for those. Please remember, as usual, like and subscribe. Give us a thumb, and give us a thumb on Board Game Geek for this video, as that gets it high up in the page and more people come. And if you want to support, then there's a Patreon, and all these links are in the description. So, okay, thanks for watching. Good night. Bye-bye.